Alright, Semphis here with Semphis Rants, and we're about to talk about how to be a good teammate in a pug and what you shouldn't do. So, first off, screaming in the mic, okay? Now understand that you've just purchased like 4 white monsters in that nice little pack off Amazon, and you've drank 2, and you're really amped up for this game, but you can't just scream everything, okay? It disorientates your teammates. No one can concentrate when a guy is yelling Optimus at the top of his lungs on Overpass. For one, people hardly play Overpass, and when you have someone screaming in your ear, Optimus, 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 and someone's peeking you from somewhere else, and there's smokes and flashes, everything, just make the call one time. If you don't see your teammate responding to your call, it's okay to repeat it again or be like, yo, man, he's Optimus. That's all right. It's just when people just scream at the top of their lungs when they die, or just in general, it's not great for anyone on the team. It's very hard to concentrate when you have some person just yelling at you. So, next is quick switching for no reason. I see this all the time, more often than not at the lower levels, but even some high-level players too, is just quick switching for no reason. Like say you're rotating from B tunnels on Dust 2 and you want to go up Cat or something. People are just like switching to their knife, the AK, knife AK, knife AK, just all the time. And it's like, CSGO is like literally created to always catch you off guard. Someone could have pushed long. A dude could literally just walk through the mid doors at any time. A dude could technically be on Cat. Maybe your teammate's on Cat, so you think you're safe. So you're just quick switching, and you're like, oh well, he walked through mid. He shouldn't have done that. Well, if you would have just at least had your pistol out. I understand sometimes you want to get to places quicker than other times, which is fair. Like sometimes it is important to go quicker. So take your pistol out. And keep it out until you need your gun. So that'll save your life more often than not, and it's very easy to switch your knife and run with it. Sometimes you'll see pros doing it in games, but one of the reasons they can do it is they can see their teammates' monitors most of the time, team houses, boot camps, plus they have better game sense than you. So just if you might see your favorite player run with his knife out, but he can look over at 4 different monitors and kind of get a better gauge of where everyone can be on the map, and he literally might be safe from every angle. So just take that into consideration. Next is running to a site when your teammates are telling you that we should take A on cache or go B on cobble. If your teammates are all somewhere and you're trying to catch up, I understand. Just tell them to wait for you. If they go before you, you're allowed to be like, yo, man, I told you guys I wasn't in position, yada, yada, yada. It's all right. But, if your teammates are all A main on cache and they're waiting for you and you just come thunderfooting up, people can hear you from close mid, in the little trash area. Event guy might hear you even. White box. Like, these people can hear you running. Now a dude could be close forklift on right side of A main. There's a lot of different places on certain maps where they can hear you closely. Now, if you're running from A halls on cobble to B, it's less likely that a dude can hear you because, if you were in A halls, there's probably not a guy close mid, but still run a little bit of the way and then walk. You know what I mean? Like, there's always a give and take when you go somewhere quickly, and sometimes, like I said, you do want to catch up to people and you don't want to be like trailing 10 miles behind everyone, but like I said, just say to wait. Next is just buying when your teammates are saving. I understand you think you're a pug god and you're going to carry this around, and you probably see people do it in pro streams and stuff, but keep in mind, pros, a lot of the time, they're not really taking the pugs like super serious, and I know that's not a great thing for you to say, because you might be in a pug with someone like that, and it'll trigger you that they're buying. They're also much better than you. So if you see Stewie buy Deagle armor, next round he might just have an ump or like a FAMAS or a CZ, but guess what? He'll still be effective in both these rounds. You need grenades. You need nades to work with your teammates because you're trying to improve, right? You're trying to get better. So don't watch people like Simple in a pug buy Deagles every round and get 4 kills and think you can do it because you're not that good. Put your ego at the door and play to win, Like, it's pretty simple. Unless you actually are as good as Simple, don't do that shit. All right? Now this is like kind of map dependent, but buying rifles second round instead of SMGs is not a huge deal, but a lot of times you'll benefit from having like maybe one rifle on T side, like one AK, and the rest of people having like Mac 10s, maybe one scout and an ump if you want. And like these things will let you have more grenades, so you actually be able to throw smokes, have some mollies, some flashes, and you'll be able to scale quickly. So what you'd want to do is, say you're playing terrain, maybe throw a smoke back 6, maybe throw one to the right of bomb, top bomb, whatever strat you want to do to create an avenue for you, 5 smoke, whatever you want to do to get you out is fine. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. But the thing is that if you have a bunch of rifles, if you have like 3 people with AKs and a dude with a Galil, you're going to have like one smoke. You're going to have one smoke. And on train, it's not going to be that great to go outside or enter for stacks when you do not have the required grenades to do it. So if you have more SMGs, you can throw more grenades to get you into the site, and they're still great on these rounds. It's almost, SMGs are almost better sometimes. If people have half armor, deagle, or something like that, if you close the range on them, you'll murder them so easy. You can kill them in the air jumping with a Mac 10, and you can just have your AKers/scouters just kind of guarding you from back, and they're more of like your insurance policy. You might trade two for 2, you get the bomb down, now you have an AKer and 2 SMGs. Like you're probably going to win this round with the bomb down, if you especially if you've smoked to get in good positions. It doesn't matter that much in Counter-Strike if you buy SMGs and you don't win the round flawlessly. Obviously, that's what you want to go for. But you will win it more likely with no casualties if you have more grenades. Now that more applies to team Counter-Strike than maybe pugs, but you can still, if you watch me on my stream, I always buy SMGs on second round, like a lot, and you just run around with a Mac 10, and you know what? You gain a lot of info, you can jump around corners and that kind of stuff, and it's much easier than buying an AK, because if you lose the AK doing a crazy push, then the dude has an AK and you can kill your whole team with it. If he takes your Mac 10, it's like a big deal. Like, what's he going to do with the Mac 10 versus head armors? Like, it's not like that great. So always take that kind of stuff into consideration. This is a big pet peeve of mine, is like, for one, not picking up ops. If you're playing a gun round, just assume they have an op. So your oppers are going to die in like the same spots most of the time, unless the dude went aggressive and died somewhere way off on the side of the map. When the round is won, if it's a 1v1, 2v2 or whatever, and your opper is dead, look for the op. Go get the op and give it back to him. Don't keep that shit. It's not finders keepers in Counter-Strike, okay? Give it back to him, because you're not the opper. The guy bought it for a reason. Now, sometimes your opper might suck, and he might be pissing you off, so you want to take it from him. But that's not going to solve anything either. So just give it, save for your own, or ask to have it. Ask him if you can use it. People will much more likely be receptive to you if you say, hey man, can I use the op this round? I'll drop you a Colt. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times you'll be like, okay, all right, because like you asked and you were nice and you're polite. You didn't just steal it from them. You know what I mean? So just try to like work with your teammates, because even if you're not happy with someone, just being like nice to someone, unless they happen to be a huge dick, will get you much further than just like jacking their op and pissing them off for the rest of the game. They're not going to want to drop you later on, and they're certainly not going to help you win by doing that. So yeah, if you and also when you're going to get the op, you know what? If the op is too far and you don't get it, it's not a big deal. It's not your fault. But, look for it. Try to find it. It's going to be in those super common spots. It's going to be around the window jungle area on Mirage or CD spawn. It's not going to be anywhere else. Like, it might be down in the site, if you went closer retake, but it's not going to be, like, crazy to go get it. This is also like really annoying, is people that just like yell and are condescending to your teammates. You're not going to get anything done by yelling at someone. It doesn't matter if this dude is actually a bad player or doesn't know what he's doing. You know what? He's probably not trying to be terrible. He probably doesn't enjoy being 4-12. But telling him that he's 4-12 and that he's bad at the game is no way to make him suddenly a god. It's not like he's like, oh shit, you know what? This guy's making fun of me for being 4-12. Let me just start fucking owning. I'll show him. Like, that never happens. He's either going to start baiting more because you pissed him off and you made him look at his stats, or he's going to just play recklessly and not with the team because he doesn't care because you're being a dick to him. So if someone is like going off and like rushing and just dying at the start of every round, it's definitely okay to be like, hey man, can you just like play more passive or something? If they don't, I can understand. At least you're justified in getting mad at this point, but don't just be like, you're fucking bad, you're 2-10. Like I hear people do that shit all the time. It's like it doesn't do anything. Being negative or condescending to anyone never gonna help you win. Just like my next point, useless fucking baiters. Like I see this all the time in ESA pugs, face it pugs, whatever you're playing. People don't understand what a lurker is. They think they can just go off on the other side of the map of their teammates and just like wait for 1 minute and like flank super late. Lurkers are probably one of the harder roles in the game to do correctly because you have windows and timings, and there's certain things that you need to understand about the game and about rotates to be able to lurk correctly. And you might want to be a lurker and you might not have all these understandings, which is fine. But what you should be doing is looking at demos and try to like mimic a couple of the plays that you see people doing at certain spots. So for example, if you're playing cash and your whole team's like, yo, we're gonna mid B, or we're gonna go set up B and do molly execute, or whatever B-sided attack they want to do, you're much better off. If they're going to do it delayed, it's totally okay to go A main or door. Okay, that's fine. But don't fucking stay in the door or A main as they're executing. Now, if they go too quickly and you couldn't get back in time to help them, that's their fault, because you told them, hopefully, that you were door or A main, and they told you were going to go later. But what you shouldn't do is just sit in A main, they execute B, and you fucking walk out A main like a tard. Like, you're so far away from the action that if they all die, you're doing nothing. You're not going to win the round. Unless you 1v4 or like 1v3 them, you're not doing shit. Plus, as soon as they realize that there's a lurker, someone's going to turn and look at Z/White Truck, and he's going to hold for you. They're not idiots. Like, people understand the game now. So and your flank is also super long, so let's say it does turn into a 2v2. Your teammate's going to have to wait like 35 or more seconds for you to walk all the way through A or outdoor, and that's if it doesn't happen to be waiting for you or happen to check the flank. And even then, you're going to get max 1 kill and maybe turn it into a 2v1 where you're still in 2 1v1 spots. So on a map like Cash, it's much better for you to go mid and wait behind the smoke and just make sure they can't flank vents. And then obviously you can also get the big flank. And then if you need to, you can go back and help them. So for example, they start executing B, you're behind the mid smoke. Oh shit, they all start dying. You have 2 options. Go back to B, quickly run back to B and help them, because you probably have full nades and you have 100 health probably. And you can actually go into B and help them enter the site. Or you can make a play through the smoke, and try to go out looking at white box or something and maybe go vents and split it that way. That's always an option. This is assuming 2 people died like instant, or like while taking the site. Now if like an opper picks one from far range and a dude checker gets a kill and they're kind of trapped, you probably don't want to go through the smoke and make a play at this point, just because they're not actually taking the site. It's more better for you to make a play if they're dying while entering the site, if you know what I mean. Now, if they're not actually in B and they're outside near the sunroom area when they're dying, and you go out through mid, you're probably not going to do much. Maybe you get a kill, but it's not really going to change the round that much. It's better for you guys to regroup, maybe go back to A, or like wait, gather, and re-hit B, whatever. I'm just saying, there's other options. And what I see in a lot of these instances is just people doing super late lurks that don't do anything. Like, your teammates hit B on cobble. You're mid. You're at the top of the rock doing absolutely nothing. Absolutely worthless as a player. Like, yeah, you might get a dude pushing A hulls. But honestly, your teammates at B have already lost or won the round. If they actually enter B, they're in a pug especially, they're going to kill everyone in the site, and it's not going to be matter that you even got the hulls kill anyways. Or they're all going to fucking die quickly, and it's going to be like a 2v4 or like a 3v4 best case, and you're going to be completely out of the play. You're going to slowly walk up mid into connector, and by this time your teammates either have to wait or come back. The best case is probably they can come back to you. That's the best thing, because you have A control now. That would be the best scenario. But again, like, that is a very like unlikely scenario. Just like go with your team, or make a presence, spam the door, throw a smoke into danger or on their side of mid, throw a flash, and then go back to B and gather with them, and go maybe above drop to be your lurker. Because at drop, at least you can make a play. At least you can. Your teammates can go to upper B, and if they all start dying, you can drop down. And if they get kills, you can hold the flank, and you can actually go down, drop, and you're actually close to them. So you can actually help them. Now, teams that you might see in a match have a lurker go up mid. They're going to get Hull's control first. Then they're going to leave their guy there. Then they're going to go back to B, and they're going to actually do, like I've seen a lot of teams do this, is they'll do like a B execute, and then they actually won't go to upper B, and they'll have a dude start walking up mid. And one of these about halfway up mid, he'll either say, like, I can get in connector, just wait, and he'll flank, or they'll start going out upper B a little bit delayed, because then they're like, oh shit, they are coming B, and there's going to be only one A, and if the A guy happens to be close halls or sight, that you can probably sneak in connector, so it's more like coordinated, but you're going to have a very hard time doing that in a pug. That's all I'm going to say. So, yeah, that's just part one of my rants on what you should and shouldn't do in pugs. So, peace.